Hello YouTubers! There comes a time in every YouTube channel when you have to make a decision, and if you make the right one, it'll boost your channel's results tenfold. And if you make the mistake of taking the wrong decision, your channel will stagnate and not evolve. I'm at that stage right now on my YouTube channel, and so I'd like to explain to you how to make the right decision at that very moment. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Sylvain Lepoutre. I manage the channel Le Coin des YouTubeurs. I've been on YouTube for over 10 years now, giving you tips on how to grow your YouTube channel and get maximum results. And today we're right in the middle of it because I'm going to talk to you about an important moment when you shouldn't screw up. I've just released a video that took a lot of hard work. I think it's a good video, which you seem to like a lot. And yet, in terms of views, this video isn't doing any better than the others. It's doing the same thing. I put a lot of hope into this video, telling myself that this is it, it's going to be a hit, it's going to do well. So now I'm at the point where I'm thinking, what do I have to do? Do I have to rethink the way my YouTube channel works? Do I need to change my formats? Do I stop YouTube altogether? And I'm sure that many of you have already found yourselves in this situation. So how do I go about it? But first, so that you can understand why I feel this way about this particular video, which may not have seemed very different from previous videos, I'm going to go back a bit to the history of the YouTuber's Corner because it's important that you understand this in order to understand what comes next. When I launched YouTuber's Corner, it was about the busiest time of my life. I had an executive job that was an hour and a half's drive from home, so I was driving 3 hours a day. I'd come home in the evening, spend time with the kids, my wife and my family, and once everyone had gone to bed at 9-10 p.m., I'd start working not on one YouTube channel, but on two. For those who don't know, I have a channel called Mon Petit Reflex with over 50,000 subscribers and a lot of things to manage, from content to partnerships and so on. Plus the YouTuber's Corner I just launched, and all that between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. every night of the week. That meant videos that were shot at around 0 a.m. and then nights that lasted 4 or 5 hours. And in all my videos from that period, you can see that I have huge dark circles under my eyes. In short, I had no choice but to make shooting my videos as quick and easy as possible. So I wanted it to be informative. There's information in it, but I'd have 2 or 3 main points for each video, and then it was hop, skip and jump, throw the camera up, don't really talk about editing, throw it up on the YouTube channel, so it was pretty unstructured. There was no particular programming strategy, it was just throwing content around. So in mid-2018, I quit my executive job, so I had a lot of time on my hands. And I put this time to good use for the second half of 2018 on the channel. My little reflex because I wanted to test as many things as possible to see if eventually I could make a living out of it. And the conclusion was that I couldn't make a living from it by creating content I liked. In the first half of 2019, I spent a lot of time creating the Accelerator course for YouTubers, precisely because it's something that excites me enormously, and to see students who go through the course and then get crazy results, that's great, it's really extraordinary. So I've spent a long time in the first 6 months creating this course, which I launched last summer. In the second half of 2019, we bought a house with a lot of work inside. Family management wasn't necessarily easy with a new school, children, things to manage, building work and so on. I had very little time for my YouTube channels and even had several months during which I hardly published anything. So it wasn't the right time for me to start releasing more complex videos on the YouTuber's Corner. And so we come to early 2020. Right now things are finally starting to fall into place. The studio is starting to take shape little by little, and at last I'm starting to be able to have the time to say now it's the YouTuber's Corner and the video content on the YouTuber's Corner channel that's becoming my #1 priority. And so it's in that context, if you like, that I released this video, which is finally the first time I've made the video in the right order, doing exactly what I wanted to do, the way I wanted to do it, and which I was very proud of when it came out. And that tells you a little bit more about why I'm so emotionally attached to this video, and why the fact that it's not getting more views than the others is making such an impression on me. So I had to react. How do you stop everything? Should you persevere? Should you go back? That's not how I work. If you know me, I'm an analytical person who likes to understand things. So what we're going to do now together is analyze this video and figure out what happened. So I'm going to take you with me, and first of all we're going to look at the title of the video. It was 5 types of thumbnails that attract clicks. And the subject isn't particularly one that's going to get a lot of searches on YouTube. It's more a subject where when YouTubers come across it, they say, yes, that's cool, that's information that's going to be useful to me, but it's not necessarily something you're going to be looking for every day, thinking how to make thumbnails that attract clicks. So it's not necessarily a subject for YouTube's search engine, on the other hand. It's really a real discovery subject because it's really designed to make people curious, to arouse their curiosity and make them want to click on it. What's important for the discovery topic? Click-through rate and watch time. So the first question we might ask ourselves is the content good? We could very well say that the video is bad, maybe that's why there aren't many views. So to see if the content is good, we're going to look at audience retention. And if you see here, the audience retention is rather good, even very good. 63% at the end of the video with a very flat curve. This means that a few people who left at the beginning of the video are quite common. But then all the people who stayed watched the videos to the end. So that's a very good sign. Then you can look at the number of likes, and if you see here, right now I'm at 98. If you take a look at the other videos on which I've had around 100 likes in these waters, these are videos that have had 1,500 views. This one 1,300 views. This one 1,200 views. So in fact, these were videos that had many more views, almost twice as many. In other words, I have a very good ratio of likes to views. It's also a good sign that the video is liked. So that's not the problem. We can put aside the video is good. What about watch time? First of all, session watch time, that is, Do I encourage people to watch other videos afterwards? A priori, it's very good if you look at the number of clicks per end item shown here. You can see that I'm at 12.3 for this video. That's well above my average of around 5%. And that means that out of the 627 people who have watched the video so far, I've got almost 70 who have clicked to watch other videos. These are signals that YouTube generally likes. So now we come to our famous two metrics, click-through rate and watch time. The click rate per impression averages 3.5%. On my channel, there are 4.4% for this video, so it's not a crazy click rate. We're not at 8 or 10%, but it's not too bad, and it's usually enough on my channel for the video in question to take off and get a few more views. So a priori, it's not that. Lastly, watch time, the famous viewing time and average viewing time. It's 3 minutes 44 on this video, whereas on average it's 4 minutes 30 on my channel. Why is that? Because in the end I have very good audience retention, but it's simply that the video's duration is too short. I've made a video that lasts about 8 minutes, so my watch time will never go beyond 4 or 5 minutes maximum. Right now I'm at 3 minutes 44, which is 63% retention, which is very good. But in the end, 3 minutes 44 for YouTube, it says, oh, that's not so good. Or I'd have to have a click-through rate of 10 or 12% for him to recommend that video. So it's important to understand that YouTube does make a distinction between average watch time and click-through rate. So if I'd ever managed to get an average watch time of around 7 minutes, double what I've got here, it's as if I'd had this video with a 9% click-through rate. So you can understand the balance for YouTube. In fact, watch time is super important, and to have a good watch time, you have to be able to have good retention, but also good video duration. So now, why was this video so short? Well, quite simply because I prepared it well. And therein lies the paradox. I put a lot of work into it. I knew what I wanted to say, so the video didn't last too long because I didn't get bogged down in blah blah blah, and I didn't talk for hours on end. And that's why the video was so short, and I think that was the mistake I made. Does that mean I should go back to videos where I'm improvising and blabbering? Not necessarily, because those videos are going to have a lower, probably lower click-through rate, and above all, a lower watch time, because a lot more people are going to leave because I'm blabbering. So what's the solution? Well, the solution is to keep preparing videos like this, but to think of subjects that will make my videos 10, 12, 15 minutes longer, maybe 20 minutes even with the same level of preparation. This may mean posting fewer videos on the channel, making them every other week for example, but making videos that are twice or 3 times as long, but just as well prepared. And then normally, if we maintain this type of retention and this rate, this type of click rate, we should have something that YouTube likes much more. So what's the bottom line? Once you've rationalized the conclusion, you shouldn't get discouraged, because obviously it's discouraging when you've put a lot of energy into a video like that, to see that it's not performing. But really analyze what's going on behind the scenes. If you need help analyzing it, you contact me and we can possibly set up a coaching session. I do this regularly. I also made this video because I know that right now I have a YouTube channel that I'm coaching that's in exactly this kind of situation, that has completely revised its format, and that's telling me that so far, in the first few days, this video isn't performing any better than others. So that's the first reason. The first reason is how we analyze this video and what conclusions we can draw from it. But there are other reasons too. And why shouldn't you give up after the first video that doesn't work? And so here I come back to the very beginning of the subject of my video, which is what is the mistake that most beginners or channels that fail to develop on YouTube make? First of all, you have to test new formats, and when you test a new format, you test it once or twice and then give up without analyzing and understanding. So first of all, I have to tell you that this is the first video of this type that I've made on my channel, the first video that's been so well prepared, that logically, given the number of subscribers I have on my YouTube channel, most of them won't even get a notification of this new video because they haven't watched any of my latest videos. So in fact, YouTube is going to be a little shy at first and only show this video to my usual audience plus a few people. And if out of those few people there are a few more who come to see the video, it'll think, okay, the video is qualitative, and the next time we'll offer it to a few more people and it'll gradually build up again. In other words, with this video, I've certainly succeeded in convince a few new people that the videos in the YouTubers Corner were qualitative or better than before, or worth following. And I probably also discouraged fewer people from following my videos. Because in fact, you can imagine that with each new video release, you have new people you've convinced and other people you've discouraged who say, well, I've heard that before, I don't really want to follow this channel anymore. And you can imagine that with such a high quality video, I haven't lost any of my subscribers or followers, and I've certainly convinced a few new ones. So normally the next video should get a few more views. Because if you really like this content, the next time you see a video from the YouTubers Corner, you're going to think, but what if it's going to be as good as last time? So it's going to get clicked faster, it's going to get a better click-through rate, it's going to get better engagement, it's going to get more watch time. And YouTube will like that. And every time. What you really don't want to do at this stage is make videos like before. Because then, if you click on the next video and say to yourself, yeah, I want it to be as high quality as this one, and you come across old videos that you've stopped watching, you're definitely going to stop watching the channel. You'll definitely stop watching the channel, and that's the big mistake not to make. Going back to the content you were doing before, or varying the content and saying, I'll do content like this, then I'll do 2 or 3 videos like before, then a video like that again, because in the end it's going to be a bit of an emotional elevator for your audience. And it's not the algorithm that decides that, it's just human nature. Put yourself in the viewer's shoes, the viewer when he arrives on a YouTube channel, when you're subscribed to a YouTube channel, or even when a YouTube channel is suggested to you, if video after video, each time you say to yourself, this is great, this is perfect, this is great, You've continued to click even first on the thumbnail as soon as you go to see it. For the next videos, if you have a good video 1 time out of 10 and the rest of the time you click, you're disappointed. You're never going to click first on those videos, and after a while YouTube is going to stop suggesting them. So it's really human nature, it's just human, it's not the algorithm really, the algorithm that responds to human signals. And obviously my next video, if it gets more watch time and a good click rate, will be more recommended by YouTube. More people will come to my channel, which will mean that the next video will also get more watch time, etc, etc. And this will create the famous snowball effect that means your channel can grow. So just one thing, test new things, test new formats all the time. If you're not satisfied with the growth of your channel, and especially when you test it on at least 5 to 10 videos. Don't jump to conclusions until you've tested at least 5 to 10 videos. Unless, of course, everyone else or you have signals that your video is bad. But there you have it. We have signals that show that the format and the video are good, so that encourages us to continue. Test at least 5 to 10 videos before drawing conclusions and possibly changing format. I now invite anyone who hasn't seen this famous video on the 5 types of thumbnails that attract clicks to go and see it right here. It's a very important video for your channel because it's just as important to attract clicks as it is to know how to make good videos behind them. So go and watch it right now and we'll see you on the other side. Cheers!